Make a weekly update to the Defiance funds to see how they're doing. But first, we can say goodbye to TRES because they are going bye-bye. I believe it's on August 1st. So we won't see them, obviously, on the website anymore. But you could still buy into them and sell into them until then, if you please to do so. But yeah, it's gonna go away. So say goodbye to TRES. We can't make fun of them anymore. So we'll have to figure out who is going to be the new TRES. All right, so how is each fund doing? That is the real question here. So it hasn't been a great week, to be honest. So we have to look now where we were last week and where we stand now. So if we go to about right here, right, we were at like the 29-cent mark. And then last week we made 6 cents, but then we lost 36 cents. By the way, this is QQQY. We lost 36 cents in one day. We lost everything in one day. And then we went to a month to date income of a negative penny. And then we lost 4 cents, and then we lost 6 cents. So it was not a good week at all for QQQY because their month to date income is 11 cents. That's horrible. Especially comparably to where we were earlier in the month. We got as high as 40 cents and we recovered 60% of the prior payment. And by the way, I did add recovery rate in case you haven't seen the video that I made on this. We have recovery rate in column G. This just shows you how much they made of the prior dividend. Because again, the prior month's dividend, the fund will drop by that amount. So you want to see, are they recovered from that amount yet? And they were headed on the right path, but now, unfortunately, their recovery rate is negative 17% because they're down 11 cents. So obviously, they're more than likely not going to recover 100% of the last dividend, due to really the 36-cent day. That was a horrible day. But you could see the damage, one day can cause with these funds. However, the good news is our total return is still up. We are up 12.35% from inception. All right, let's go to JEPY. We ended the last week for them. They were at 33 cents, which was a 71% recovery rate. And then, what was that, Monday? Made 6 cents or Tuesday. And then we went up to 84% recovery rate. But then the disaster, lost 18 cents, lost 13 cents, lost 9 cents. So, what the hell? They're down a penny, right? Are they both down? No, they're down. QQQY is down 11 cents. JEPY is down a penny. So obviously their recovery rate is also in the negative, only negative 1.75%, but still, we got all the way up to 84% recovery and then boom, right back down to reality. But that's what can happen with these funds, which, it sucks, but it is what it is. Total return for JEPY, currently as of the last closing price, I'm showing 11.83%. IWMY, let's see how they're doing. They, as of last week, they were at 47 cents. So let's see how their week went. They made 9 cents. All right. They lost 4, they lost 26 cents, and then they lost 4 cents. So they're currently doing the best because they have income of 22 cents. Their recovery rate is at 31%. So they have made back 31% of last month's distribution. That's not bad. Again, the next declaration date for these funds, by the way, is July 31st. So they still have, a little over a week to make up some money. We'll see what happens, though. Could be good, could be bad. Total return for this fund from inception to date, again, this is taking the cash for the distribution, not with dividend reinvestment. But their total return for IWMY is 12.92%. And we could talk about TRES while they're still here if anyone cares. But we left off, we had 3 cents we made. And then they made 3 cents. They lost 2 cents. They lost a penny. So month-to-date income for TRES, they made 3 cents. That's actually a 20% recovery because they don't pay much. But their total return is in the negatives, negative 11%. SPYT, one of the better funds. Let's see where we left off last week for them. Left off around, what, 50 cents? We could zoom in a little. Yeah, 50 cents. So they made 11 cents. Then they lost 25, lost 12, lost 17. So yeah, they were at a 180% recovery rate. They almost doubled what they had to recover. However, they're now only at a month-to-date income of 7 cents. And by the way, guys, in case you don't know, when I say month-to-date income, it's simply just the change in the price. So I'm tracking the change in the price from the last, ex-dividend date. So currently, again, 7 cents I'm showing is the change. And that's a recovery rate of 19.86%. So not the best considering where they were, but it is what it is. Total return on SPYT is positive 5.89%. Again, newer fund. So, all right, USOY. Where did we leave off? 28 cents. Yeah, so they had made 28 cents where we stood heading into this week, and then they lost 21. They made 12. They made 2, and then they lost 29. So unfortunately, they are also in the negative here. Negative 8 cents. So their recovery rate is negative 6.75%. And their total return is not that great either. It's up. They're up, but they're only up 2.67%. Again, it's a newer fund, but still, it's the struggle. The struggle is real for these funds. All right, so that's USOY. QQQT, again, another newer fund. There's no recovery rate for them because they have not made a payment yet. But where we stood off last week, they were at, 43 cents. Heading into this week, oh, what a mess. They made 2 cents, then they lost 56, they lost 13, and they lost 17. So their month-to-date income, which essentially is their inception-to-date income at the moment, they are down 41 cents. And that is a total return of negative 2.06%. So I did make a big buy of QQQT, not big, but like 100 shares. So I now have 100 shares of QQQT and SPYT. Unfortunately, I should have waited. Obviously, you can never time the market. But again, I believe in SPYT and QQQT as, solid performers paying a solid 20%. But again, there was a couple of really bad days last week in the market, and we're feeling it on all of these funds. IWMY is actually doing the best because small cap stocks, we're doing well. Summary tab, there's nothing to really cover here because there hasn't been a payment since we last spoke on this tab. And then the status tab, if we talk about this, I did make some updates here. You can see the growth in QQQT on the bottom. They're already up to 7.3 million. They're catching USOY. USOY's at 10.1 million. And then obviously TRES, like we said, is going away. And then outside of them, SPYT is at 46 mil. And then obviously the big three, they're still the leaders, right? QQQY is number 1, IWMY is number 2, and JEPY is number 3. So let me know what you think is number 1. And then, yes, we have possibly IWMT in the making. That should be another cool fund. Again, it's probably a 20% yielder, but but a lot of people, they could probably pay out more if all works out. But for QQQT and IWMT to pay 20%, they probably could have, a decent capital appreciation as well. All right, so that's that. That's the update. Again, next declaration date is July 31st. But before that, we do have a reverse split in the making for these 3 funds. QQQY, JEPY, and IWMY announced a reverse split that will happen on August 1st, which I believe is the same date we have to say bye-bye to TRES. So all I did here is I just reflected how it's going to show, right? So right now, if you look, these funds, their current price is like 14, 15 bucks. Their new price after reverse split is going to be around the $40 range, 42, 47, etc. And then obviously, once we reflect that, the historical data needs to get reflected, such as the distribution data, right? So if we go all the way to the last payment, right? For example, QQQY, And again, I apologize, this is repetitive. I made a separate video on this, but this is for people who did not see that video. QQQY made a payment of 65 cents, right? So that's just going to be reflected as $1.97 because people, their first question is, what are we going to get paid? And then the immediate reaction is, oh, my shares are going to get cut, into a third of what it was. So I'm going to get paid a lesser amount. But guys, that is not true. That is not true at all, because you're still dealing with the same amount, same market value, same investment in the fund. So if all things equal, you're going to get paid $1.97, $1.39, and $2.09, because again, these funds are more valuable per share. So what that means is they could, trade more options per share, right? There's more money to be traded with. So yeah, guys, don't worry about as far as the payment. Just worry about how the fund performs. The reverse split is more of just an administrative adjustment. For, I guess, the fund's safety. They just want to make sure that, again, maybe I'm thinking they wanted to launch their fund now. If they could go back, they probably wanted to launch it maybe around the $45 range, because then people they can't talk about reverse split because it's so far away from the $10 range that people won't even talk about it. And I'm thinking that's the goal. But here I show what's going to happen for me. I own 200 shares of each of these funds. So what'll happen is those 200 shares will be converted to 66 shares, right? So I'll have 66 shares each. I'll have a fractional share of each, 0.67 shares of each. That should get converted to cash. But in the end, the total value that's in my account for these funds is going to be the same, okay? Plus or minus the movement that happens, obviously, during that time frame. And then my cost basis will show much higher, right? My cost basis of each now is like 16, 17 range. That's going to move to 49.50 range. However, the value of the shares will obviously be more. So again, it's just an administrative adjustment that they need to do. Did they need to do it? I don't think so, but they did, and here we are. So I'm not going to harp on it anymore. Who cares, right? If they did a 1-for-10 reverse split, who cares? I mean, whatever. Let them do what they need to do. And then again, the best part is, I guess nobody has to talk about reverse split on these funds for a while because they're going to be priced so high. But hopefully they start making money. Hopefully they start doing well. Hopefully they have a 100% recovery rate going forward. Again, last week was a little rough, as you saw. But, it happens. So let's hope to have, continuous high implied volatility rates so we earn the higher premium. And let's hope to have flat to slowly upward markets. That's what the goal is with these funds. So anyway, and yes, obviously, yes, it can go down a little too, and we can still make money. I know that. Someone's gonna comment that. So let me correct that before I move on. So yeah, that's the update on Defiance funds. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys still enjoy these updates, this one obviously I'm posting later than usual. It's been a rough weekend, but we've been out late, so I got home late, so it means I slept in a little, but we'll get back to normal hopefully starting tomorrow with the time frames and the normal sleep range. But yeah, either way, got the video out. That's what matters, right? And as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we will try again next week. If you did enjoy this content, please always remember to hit the like button. And if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, leave them down below. All right? I'll talk to you guys later.